Welcome to this deep dive. We'll be exploring the work of Zenovia Toloudi.
Oh, Zenobia Toloudi.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Um, we'll be focusing on her unique way of combining art and architecture
Okay.
to enable human connection and communication.
I like it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think this would be a good one.
Yeah, and her work isn't just theoretical either. She brings these ideas to life
Mhm.
through her teaching at Dartmouth
Oh, wow.
and her incredible installations.
Yeah, her installations are something else.
Yeah, they've been showcased globally too.
That's awesome. So, where should we start with this?
Well, to really get it, I think we need to understand her core artistic focus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right off the bat. Zenobia, she's deeply concerned with the disconnection she sees
Right.
in modern life, like between people and nature, and also just between people themselves. And
Mm.
it's this disconnection that she's really trying to address through her art.
I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like sometimes it feels like we're so plugged in
Right.
to our devices and everything
Yeah,
that we forget to look up and connect with the world and the people around us.
exactly. And what's so interesting about her approach is that she uses both
Right.
digital and organic media in her work.
Oh,
It's
wow.
almost like this juxtaposition, right? It makes you stop and think she's
Yeah.
bringing together the very technology that can sometimes isolate us
Right.
with the natural world that we so often feel detached from.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like she's acknowledging that technology has this huge role
Right.
in our lives now,
Yeah.
but she's also reminding us that we have this, connection
Yeah,
to nature.
for sure.
That's important.
Yeah. And it's not just about observing her art either. You really have to experience it.
Okay.
Her installations, they're actually designed to be interactive
Oh, cool.
and inclusive. They prompt these new ways of
Uh.
engaging with art and space.
I bet her installations are just these vibrant spaces then
Yeah.
where people can come together
Yeah.
and connect in unexpected ways.
Totally. It really makes you wonder how these, temporary installations, these fleeting moments,
Yeah.
can impact these long-standing traditions and norms,
Mhm.
which is something that Zenovia explores.
It's like she's using art
Yeah,
almost as this catalyst for change
totally.
and getting people to reconsider their relationship with the world around them.
Exactly. Now, to really understand her approach to teaching
Okay.
and how it connects with her artistic vision, we need to look at her credentials.
Okay.
I mean, she's an associate professor of architecture at Dartmouth
Wow.
with tenure.
Tenure at Dartmouth. That's a big deal.
It is. It
It
is.
suggests that she's obviously a talented artist and architect,
Yeah,
but also a highly respected educator as well.
right. And it doesn't stop there either. She also holds a Doctor of Design degree,
Okay.
and she's a member of some pretty prestigious organizations.
That's
Like the AIA and the BSA.
Okay, yeah, the American Institute of Architects, the Boston Society of
Yeah.
Architects.
And these memberships, they reflect her standing in the professional community.
It sounds like she's really made a name for herself
You have.
in both, the academic world
Yeah.
and professionally.
Yeah. And on top of all that, she's also a Fulbright Fellow
Wow.
and a research fellow at MIT
Wow.
for art, culture, and technology.
So she's got this multifaceted background,
Multifaceted, exactly.
which really speaks volumes about her,
Yeah.
her ability to bridge the different disciplines and bring a unique perspective to her work.
For sure. And, all of those areas of expertise,
Mm-hmm.
they're not just a random list or anything. They really highlight how she's weaving together these different fields
Yeah.
like art, technology, psychology, urban planning.
Yeah.
It's incredible, right?
Yeah.
To create something truly unique.
Yeah, it's like she's creating this new language, a
Yeah.
new way of thinking about how all these things intersect.
Absolutely. And this interdisciplinary approach, it's
Yeah.
evident in her work too, which has been shown in over 30 exhibitions globally.
Over 30
Not
exhibitions.
even over 30.
Wow. And where have some of these exhibitions been?
Oh, we're talking some serious venues.
Okay.
From the Venice Biennale
Oh, wow.
to the Center for Architecture in New York. Her work has been showcased internationally.
That's amazing. What about geographically? Where have her exhibitions been?
Geographically, from the Athens Byzantine Museum
Wow.
to Liliu Unique in Nantes.
So all over.
Yeah. And this global reach, it really reflects her upbringing on the periphery of Greece
Oh, interesting.
and her fascination with borders,
Okay.
which she actually explores through her art.
That's so interesting how her personal experiences have
Yeah.
really shaped her artistic vision.
Absolutely. It's as if she's trying to blur those lines, and find connections
yeah.
across these different cultures and landscapes.
That makes sense.
Oh.
So we've established that Zenovia is this globe-trotting architect an artist
Yeah.
who's passionate about bridging divides
Right.
and fostering connections.
Mm.
But I'm really curious to delve a bit deeper into her areas of expertise.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we saw that list. It was extensive. We've got art and technology,
Mm-hmm.
light and space,
Yeah.
cognition and perception,
Yeah.
public space and
Yeah.
urbanism,
Mm.
ecology and architecture, and even
Mm. It's
techno-ecology.
a mouthful, right?
Yeah.
But it really speaks to the interdisciplinary nature of her work.
Yeah, she doesn't confine herself to these traditional boundaries.
Not at all.
She weaves together these seemingly
Mhm.
disparate fields
Yeah.
to create something new and thought-provoking.
Right. It's this interweaving that
Yeah.
lets her approach human connection from so many different angles.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So what should we focus on next?
Well,
What areas of expertise or projects relate to her teaching and
Ah.
her focus on human connection?
Okay, so I think there are two publications in particular that would be really good to look at. Techno-ecologies, the interplay of space and its perception,
Okay.
and when public space meets civic imagination, the case of Harvard Square.
Those sound pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Excited to get into those. But before we do,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that someone can be so accomplished
It is.
in such diverse fields.
Yeah.
I mean, how does she juggle it all?
It makes you wonder, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's teaching, researching,
Right.
creating art, exhibiting her work internationally.
It really speaks to her passion and drive.
Yeah.
I mean, she's someone who is deeply committed to her work and making a difference.
All right, let's take a moment to gather our thoughts and then delve into these publications.
Sounds good.
I'm excited to see what insights they offer into Zenovia's approach to fostering human connection through her work.
Me too.
Okay.
So we're diving into those publications now.
Yeah. We were just talking about techno-ecologies,
Yeah.
the interplay of space and its perception. And when public space meets civic imagination,
Mm-hmm.
the case of Harvard Square,
Yes. Those are the ones.
they sound so interesting.
They are. They really are.
I'm really eager to see how those connect to her overall approach.
Okay, well, let's start with techno-ecologies.
Okay.
So in this one, she's exploring this concept of how technology, ecology, and human perception all kind of intersect.
Oh, interesting.
It's recognizing that these three elements, they aren't separate. You know, they're all intertwined,
Yeah.
and they really shape how we experience the world.
That's true. We often think of technology and nature as being at odds,
Yeah, like opposites.
but in reality, they're constantly interacting
Totally. Yeah,
and they influence one another.
exactly. And Zenovia takes it a step further
Okay.
by looking at how these interactions shape our perception of space.
So how technology can be used to enhance our connection to nature.
Yes, rather than isolating us from it.
It's like she's trying to find that balance
Yeah.
to integrate technology in a way that feels harmonious,
Right, exactly.
not disruptive.
Yeah, and that idea of harmony is so central to her work. You know, she
Yeah.
really wants to create spaces that foster a sense of well-being
No,
and connection,
right.
like to ourselves and the world around us.
That makes sense. And that leads us to the other publication, When Public Space Meets Civic Imagination,
Yes.
the case of Harvard Square.
The case of Harvard Square.
I'm curious to see how that ties in.
So in this one, she's looking at how public spaces can be designed
Okay.
to foster community and encourage those meaningful interactions.
I mean, Harvard Square, it's such a vibrant public space.
It is. It really is.
It's kind of iconic in a way.
Yeah,
I can see why she chose that as a case study.
for sure.
It's a place where so many different people come together,
Yeah.
and the design definitely plays a role
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
how people interact there.
And what's really interesting here is that she's not just focused on the physical design.
Okay.
She's also looking at the role of what she calls civic imagination. So public spaces, they should be more than just places to pass through, right?
Oh, yeah.
They should be these places where people can come together, share ideas,
Oh, okay.
imagine new possibilities.
Okay, so it's not just aesthetics, it's about empowerment.
Exactly. It's about fostering a sense of ownership and belonging.
Yeah.
And really recognizing that these public spaces,
Yeah.
they're vital for shaping our collective identity.
I'm starting to see how these publications connect to her teaching
Right.
and her focus on human connection.
Totally.
It's like she's not just teaching design principles.
Yeah.
She's teaching them how to create these spaces
Right.
that nurture community
Yeah.
and enhance the human experience.
Exactly. And this kind of brings us to a really big question.
With that.
how does she translate these ideas into her own artistic practice?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, we know she's created all these installations about connection and communication,
Yeah.
but what do they actually look like?
Right.
How do they engage the viewer?
Yeah, which one should we explore first?
Okay, I think Architectures of Hiding.
Okay.
This is a public space installation in Ottawa, Canada. I
Okay.
think that's a good place to start.
Hiding in plain sight.
Hiding in plain sight.
It's such a strange concept.
It is. It really challenges our perceptions of public space.
Okay.
Makes us see the familiar in a new light.
How did she achieve that in the installation? What did it look like?
The source material doesn't actually give us those specifics.
Okay.
But what we can gather is that it really encourages viewers to become more aware of their surroundings.
Okay.
To question these hidden spaces in the city.
So shifting our perception.
Yeah. Yeah, making the ordinary extraordinary.
I'm imagining something subtle,
Yeah.
unexpected,
Right.
something that blends into the environment,
Yeah.
but also disrupts our usual way of seeing.
Exactly. It's about making us slow down,
Okay.
pay attention,
Mm-hmm.
and, discover those hidden layers of meaning.
Oh, yeah, the stuff that we usually miss.
Exactly. And that act of discovery, it can be a powerful way to connect, with our surroundings and each other.
It's like she's saying, look closer.
Yeah.
There's more here than meets the eye.
Right. Exactly.
And that ties in so well with human connection.
Yeah. How so?
Because suddenly you're more attuned to the people around you.
Right.
You notice the interactions.
Yeah.
The little, almost hidden narratives that unfold in these spaces.
It's recognizing that even in a crowded square, there are these moments of intimacy and solitude, connections being formed.
Yeah, it makes you think about all the connections we miss.
Right.
When we're just rushing through our day.
Yeah, not really paying attention.
Not paying attention.
So this brings us to another really interesting installation.
Okay.
Time Structures.
Time Structures.
This one's located in Mili, Sardinia.
Okay.
The title itself, right?
Yeah, it's evocative.
It really makes you think about time.
Yeah.
And its impact on human experience.
How time shapes our experiences.
Right.
How fleeting moments can leave a lasting impact.
Yeah.
And how our perception of time influences how we connect with each other.
It's interesting, right? Because, Zenovia, she's really interested in how these temporary installations can affect long-standing traditions.
It's like she's asking how we honor the past.
Yeah.
While still embracing the present and shaping the future.
And how do the connections that we make in the present contribute to the evolution of tradition?
It's a really complex question.
It is.
But her work seems to address that head on.
It does. It suggests that even temporary interventions can have this lasting impact,
Yeah.
It gets us thinking about our values and beliefs and the ways that we connect across time.
Now, Technotopias, this is her solo exhibition.
Yes.
At Dartmouth College.
At Dartmouth.
The title makes me think of the future.
Oh, yeah.
Where technology helps us connect.
Okay.
Rather than isolate us.
It's like she's trying to reclaim technology, right, as this tool for good.
Yeah.
Showing how it can build bridges and foster community.
And this was a solo exhibition at Dartmouth. Were her students involved?
That's a good question. The source material doesn't say.
Okay.
But it would be amazing if they were. Imagine being a student and contributing to that.
It would be so empowering.
Yeah, it would really align with her teaching philosophy.
Okay, last but not least, we have Speak, Listen, Act.
Yeah, this one's great.
Also curated at Dartmouth.
At Dartmouth.
It's like a call to action.
It is.
Urging us to engage with each other, to have real conversations.
They're beautiful conversations, right?
Yeah, and create positive change together.
It seems like she's really trying to empower her students and the community to use their voices and work together.
I'm sensing this common thread.
Oh, yeah.
Running through all of these exhibitions.
Okay.
It's like this deep belief in the power of art.
Okay.
To bring people together to spark dialogue and inspire change.
It's not just about creating beautiful objects.
Right.
It's about creating experiences that transform us and connect us to something larger than ourselves.
That brings us back to her teaching.
Yeah.
How does she bring that into the classroom?
What do you think?
I'm imagining a very interactive learning environment.
Yeah.
Where students feel comfortable sharing ideas.
Yeah.
Challenging assumptions, you know, and working together to explore all these new possibilities.
Maybe she even brings elements of those exhibitions into her
Oh,
classes.
that would be cool.
Yeah, use art as a way to start discussions
Yeah.
and encourage action.
It sounds like the kind of learning environment that
Yeah.
would foster not only creativity,
Right.
but also empathy
Yeah.
and collaboration
Yeah.
and a real sense of purpose.
All those qualities that are so essential,
Right.
not just for architects and artists,
Yeah.
but for all of us.
For being engaged citizens.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes her such a fantastic educator.
Yeah.
She's not just teaching art and architecture,
Yeah.
but how to be active in shaping a better future.
This has been so insightful.
It has.
We've gained a much deeper understanding of her work,
Yeah.
her teaching, her commitment to fostering human connection.
Mhm.
But there's still one piece missing.
Oh, what's that?
Her other publications.
Right. We just focused on those two.
Yeah, we talked about techno-ecologies.
Yeah.
And when public space meets civic imagination.
Right. But there's more.
But there are others
Yeah.
that might offer even more insights.
Absolutely. They might shed light on how she bridges that gap
Yeah.
between theory and practice,
Yeah.
bringing those concepts of connection
Mhm.
into the real world of art and architecture.
Okay. I'm ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
All right, let's explore these other publications.
Okay, sounds good.
What else can we uncover about Zenovia?
Well, there's one title that really jumped out at me. It was Architecture and Living Matters,
Okay.
from art architectural installations to metabolic aesthetics.
Okay, I have to admit,
Yeah.
metabolic aesthetics.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a bit intimidating.
It sounds a little intimidating, but it's actually a fascinating concept.
Okay.
And it really links back to her focus on human connection
Okay.
and the natural world.
Okay.
It's all about the relationship between architecture, living organisms, and the flow of energy.
Wow.
It's like, how do we create buildings and spaces that aren't static,
Right.
but dynamic, responsive?
Like almost like living organisms themselves.
Exactly. So it's not just about how a building looks, but how it interacts with its environment and the people inside.
It's almost like she's blurring those lines then
Yeah.
between the built environment and nature.
Right. And metabolic aesthetics.
Yeah.
That suggests that beauty can be found in those processes.
Okay.
Like how a building breathes and adapts over time.
It's a different way to think about architecture then.
It is. It emphasizes sustainability, resilience, and that connection to nature.
And it all ties together, right?
How so?
Creating spaces that foster human connection,
Mm-hmm.
but also designing buildings in harmony with nature.
Yeah.
It's like she's saying that by reconnecting with nature, we reconnect with ourselves
Okay.
and each other.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Now there's this other publication, Building a Language on the Interrogative Form.
Building a language on the interrogative form.
Even the title, right?
Yeah.
It speaks to that questioning approach, which fits with her emphasis on critical thinking.
It encourages curiosity,
Totally.
to ask why, to approach design with a sense of wonder.
Yeah, it's not about finding the right answer.
Right.
It's about exploring the possibilities,
Yeah.
embracing the unknown.
It sounds like she really values that learning is this ongoing process.
Oh, absolutely.
That dialogue between theory and practice,
Yeah.
observation and experimentation.
It's about cultivating a mindset to become lifelong learners.
So her teaching style, I bet it's very hands-on then,
I think so, based on all of this.
encouraging students to think critically,
Yeah.
to be creative.
Yeah. I bet she encourages them to experiment with different materials, collaborate with each other,
Well,
really think about the impact of their designs.
and, with her focus on public space and civic engagement,
Mm-hmm.
she probably challenges them to think about how their designs can benefit communities.
Absolutely. Like, how can they contribute to a more just society?
Yeah, it's inspiring
It is.
to think about the impact she has
Yeah.
on her students.
It's not just about art and architecture. It's
Right.
about being responsible.
Exactly. And that design is never neutral, right?
Yeah, very
So
neutral.
it always affects people and the environment.
Right.
And it's great that Zenovia
Yeah.
wants to make a positive impact with her work.
Yeah. So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
what are your big takeaways about Zenovia?
I think she's this amazing visionary thinker
Yeah.
who's so passionate about human connection.
Absolutely. Through her art, her teaching, her architecture,
Yeah.
she's challenging us to rethink how we view things.
Yeah, our relationship with the built environment.
Yeah. With nature, technology, and ultimately with each other.
She's showing us how art and architecture can really drive social change.
Yeah.
Even temporary installations, they can have such a lasting impact.
Right. And maybe most importantly, she's encouraging us to really look deeper, to ask questions, and to use our creativity to build a better future.
It has been such a thought-provoking deep dive.
It really has.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for having me.
as we explored the world of Zenovia Toloudi and her amazing work.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.